Hey YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin. If you're new here, if you're not, thanks for stopping back by. I am diving back into getting budget videos out for you guys. So this month I'm going over what I'm going to spend in October. Now this is also inclusive of a pretty significant raise at work. So very excited to kind of shift things around for October. I'm also kind of starting to come out of my recession budgeting. So I have kind of balanced it a little bit more. So I'm excited to share this with you guys. So let's dive in. With my housing and utilities, I pay half of the mortgage bill. If you don't know, I own a house with my partner. He's wonderful, and we split everything 50-50. So like I said, mortgage $444.95. Electric is $100. Now that's the only variable one, so it could be a little over, could be a little less. We'll see. Water, I have budgeted for $10.18, and then trash for $23. Oh, internet for $23, trash for $14. And then my phone bill, which is not split with my partner, it is separate. It is a limited data plan, so it's only $37.89. I work from home and I use Wi-Fi, so that's why I get away with such a cheap phone bill. I make up for that with expensive car insurance. So my auto insurance is $152. That is for 2 vehicles fully covered. I ain't playing any games with these other drivers, like no risks for me. For fuel, I have $150 budgeted. Now, my expense did go up a little bit for fuel just because I did start coaching soccer and I have to leave my house multiple times a week to do that. So I do expect October to be a little bit higher still for fuel, but moving into the winter, I'm kind of hoping this fuel cost will go down a little bit. Next up is my debt section. I have 3 things here. I have my auto loan, and then I have extra debt payments, which if I were paying student loans would go there. But since I'm not paying on student loans right now, all my extra debt payment goes to my car. So my minimum payment is $290, and then I'm planning to put $460 towards the car loan on top of that. I will give you guys more details on the last few months of debt payoff and kind of what my situation is with student loans in another video. So yeah, with that, the last thing in the debt section is care credit. My mom has some care credit that I'm working on for her. So it has no interest as long as you pay it off in time. And I'm well ahead of that time frame. So just $100 there. Next up, I have food. I budgeted $300 for groceries. Food prices do not appear to be dropping, even though gas prices are. So here we are, $300 for food and $75 for eating out. It's fall, so I'm hoping to go to like a fall orchard or something, and that'll probably be where I would pull money from for that. So next up, I have my subscriptions. Spotify for $10, Amazon for $7, Hulu for $1, and SiriusXM for $6.48. I don't know if this was there in the last budget, but I live in the middle of nowhere and my cell phone does not do Bluetooth. So if I ever have trouble or forget my backup cell phone, which is a super cracked iPhone, then the only way I can listen to music is if I have SiriusXM. And I got a deal, so it's really cheap. It's really cool to have. So if it ever goes to full price and I lose the deal, I definitely won't keep it. But for now, it's worth it. Next up, household and toiletries type budget. That's paper towels, shampoo, that kind of thing. I have $75 budgeted there. For personal spending, I have an additional $75 budgeted there. I'm hoping to keep myself under control. I do not need anything. I just don't need anything. So hopefully I can get my life together and not spend too much in the personal budget area. Next up, I have miscellaneous section, and this section is normally between $25 to $75 depending on the month. But this month I have it set to $250 because I know that we are hosting a chili cook-off and I am spending a little money on my soccer team. I'm doing an MVP prize, and I want to get a gift for my assistant coach. So I have a lot budgeted there. The chili cook-off's a big deal. I'm buying a new table and stuff for future chili cook-offs. So that's kind of why it looks like a lot of money. But yeah, so that is what's going on there. And we do prizes for our chili cook-off. So I'm doing a coloring contest for the kids and prizes for the winners. And last year we had almost 20 chilies. So yeah, we do prizes and we try to get pretty decent prizes. So yeah, that is why that is expensive in the miscellaneous section. Moving right along, we'll get over to my favorite section, these savings and sinking funds. So these are all the same funds that I've had before if you've ever seen a budget video, but I'm finally getting back to investing. So for several months in a row, I did not put anything in my Roth IRA or my brokerage account in favor of putting that money towards my emergency fund because I just wasn't comfortable with my emergency fund. The recession was looming, and my partner works in an industry that's much more likely to feel the brunt of less spending from people. And then I also was so burned out at work that I was like, I need to have an emergency fund ready to go in case I rage quit. I didn't have a problem with my work. I was really just burned out. So rage quitting was really not going to be something that would happen. But I did have in the back of my mind that if I couldn't find a job before the end of the year, I would potentially consider taking a brief break from the workforce. So I wanted to have a little bit of money saved up so that I could potentially have a month or two off if I wanted it. Now that things have changed so much, the economy seems to be stable-ish as far as my partner's job and my job, and I got a new job, so things are looking great, and I don't feel so inclined to go hard at the emergency fund. I am getting back in to the Roth IRA, so $250 to that, $75 into my brokerage account, which will catch me up because I usually do $25 a month, so that should catch me up a little bit with my goal for the year in that account. For propane, I'm putting $100 into a sinking fund. For my home fund, an additional $100. I have a good chunk in there. I don't have the beginning balances here because it's not actually October yet, but you'll see it at the end of October what the differences are. So vehicle, I have $100 going into vehicle. Vacation, I'm putting $150 in there. We don't have anything specific planned for a while, probably not until next year. So I'm not worried too much about getting a lot of money saved up in there right this minute. For gifts, I have $25 set up. And the reason it's low there is because the gifts for the chili cook-off and my assistant coach are listed under miscellaneous. For family, I have about $25. That may be one that I go over pretty bad, but if I go over it, it would be groceries because, like I said, my mom got dentures and it's been tough to get used to them. So I'm supplementing some of her diet with some good foods, that she doesn't have to make herself. So like chicken salad cups and things like that. So might go over there. We'll see. She's into cheesecake right now. So we'll see. And then last but not least, I do plan to still put $250 into my emergency fund, which is still a good chunk of money in there. So that covers the savings and sinking funds. And then the last section I always like to go over is the income. So in October, I don't expect any extra income. So these are just going to be my job checks. And you'll note that I previously was bringing in $15.94 per check. It's going to be $18.30-ish per check for now. Now this is because upon getting my new job, I have not increased my 401k contribution yet, but I do plan to for the upcoming year. So come January, my take home may actually decrease a little bit. It's not going to be a pay cut. It's just because I am going to hopefully begin investing a little bit more. But for the time being, it's going to be nice to be able to stack a little bit more into my savings with these paychecks. So yeah, I expect 2 paychecks in October to bring in a total of $36.60. With this budget, it looks like I'll be spending $36.56, and that will leave me $3. This isn't an exact amount for the checks, so it could be up to like $10-ish that would be like left over, so we will see. But that is all I have. I guess I do have my little donut here. So overall, that brings me to a breakdown of less than 20% on housing and utilities, 8% on auto, 23% to debt, 26% to savings, and everything else. Food is only 10%, so that puts housing and food, that puts that around 30%, which is pretty darn good. And then miscellaneous is a fat 10% because I am hosting the chili cook-off with my partner. We love doing it. So anyway, that is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I appreciate being here. I hope you have a great morning, noon, or night, whatever it is for you.